All right, so we're going to be responding to a video by Sahar TV, good buddy of mine. Check out his channel. Make sure to subscribe to it if you haven't. And we're going to be covering Abdul El-Sayed, who's the Muslim American Michigan native who is running for U.S. Senate. So before we start, make sure to subscribe, like, share, leave your comments. Follow me at Rafi the Realtor on Instagram for all of your real estate needs in Miami and the greater South Florida area. And you can support the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the pinned comment or description. Let's get into it.
And Israel are not the same as Judaism and the Jewish people.
I'm not hate Muslims, but I'll tell you, Muslims definitely hate you.
People aren't stupid. This politics of no translation is going to be the way forward.
They go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth. It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go.
Watch this.
If El-Sayed wins, I will not vote Democrat. I'll switch over, and I'll vote for a candidate with character, whoever that might be.
Abdul El-Sayed's candidacy for senator in Michigan concern you?
Yes, sir, it does.
Why is that?
Well, to begin with, I look at the connections that his father-in-law, Chakaku Tayyib, has to Brotherhood-linked groups.
Abdul El-Sayed, can you believe this? Abdul El-Sayed, lovely gentleman. He's a man of hate. And now he's going around saying, no, I love everybody, He doesn't love everybody. Put him in office, you're going to find out what he loves.
AIPAC and Israel are not the same as Judaism and the Jewish people. I love Judaism and I love the Jewish people. I venerate Judaism and I venerate the Jewish people. I stand with Judaism and I stand with the Jewish people. And the single most dangerous thing that they've tried to tell us is that somehow they can extend the definition of anti-Semitism to include a foreign government and its leaders. I call bullshit. No. No. If you believe that anti-Semitism extends to include a foreign government and AIPAC, you are creating a dangerous circumstance. That's right. So it is important for us to recognize that we love Judaism and the Jewish people because we love people. And we love Palestinians and their rights because we love people. And we love that our tax dollars get spent here, on schools here, and healthcare here, because we love people. You cannot claim that human rights end at a border. You cannot claim that you want to invest in our kids when you send our money abroad to kill other people's kids. You cannot claim it. Jewish American sisters and brothers, one of the most indelible memories of this campaign will have been the opportunity to break bread with you at Seder, to worship with you at...
His favorite memory is to break bread with Jews during Seder. Do you eat bread during Seder? Do you eat bread during Passover? We eat matzah, not bread. Such a fake-ass speech to recruit fake-ass votes. This guy thinks we're stupid. You're stupid. I said it. I said it. Well, apparently, according to this video, they think, including El-Sayed, that the voters are stupid.
Everything is people aren't stupid. This politics of no translation is going to be the way forward.
No, for sure.
Money on politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. No one has to decipher what the hell that means.
Which is what they want the House of Representatives to have all the power. If the Supreme Court reports to the House, you know what that means? You have no free speech right. You have no religious liberty right. You have no Second Amendment because the Politburo can take away your rights. And to be clear, these communists are explicit. They are for seizing the means of production and putting the government in charge of every major corporation in the world. And Jesse, you know, there's some on the right who are celebrating and saying, okay, these crazies are winning. That means we're going to go ahead and win in November. Maybe, but I'm not celebrating lunatics taking over the Democrat Party, because these are actual communists. And it's not everyone in the Democrat Party, but the rest of the Democrats are terrified of these guys because this is where the energy is, this is where the money is, this is where the young people are. And eventually, the Democrats are going to be back in power. It is unfortunate. I don't want it to be the case, but history shows us the pendulum will swing the other way. And it is not good for America if actual communists end up being in charge. Look, New York is seeing that with Comrade Mondami right now, and this poison is spreading across the country.
Is that where the energy is? They want to cancel Thanksgiving?
They're crazy enough, yes. They want to cancel Thanksgiving. They want to cancel Christmas. Look, these communists hate America. They hate capitalism. El-Sayed is also an Islamist, as is Mondami. And look, you see the green-red convergence where the communists and the Islamists, they want Sharia law. They hate Jews, they hate Christians, they hate capitalism, they hate America. All of this is coming together in a way that is really a toxic, toxic stew.
Abdul Muhammad El-Sayed, the most radical Senate candidate in America.
Pretty dangerous.
El-Sayed pledged support for the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, a designated foreign terrorist group. He wants to hike taxes on Michigan waitresses, delivery drivers, and seniors on Social Security. He joined a sex offender and a murderer to demand the mass release of dangerous prisoners. And when his ally claimed America deserved 9/11,
America deserved 9/11, dude.
El-Sayed refused to disavow it.
I'm not here to disavow people's views.
Abdul El-Sayed, too radical, too dangerous, wrong for Michigan.
The allies are launching is already more bitter. All you got to do is look at the odds. You're already watching on TV, started today. You know, they think that you want to use my whole name against me. Mike, listen, man, if you can't say the name, it's Abdurrahman, keep the name out your damn mouth.
These white women behind him are just like, yay, you're gonna do so great. We need diversity. Oh my God, bro. Suicidal empathy is just, it's so fucked, bro. Yeah, look how up close my face. It's so fucked.
If you woke up this morning thinking we're still California because Wayne County still doesn't have their vote count in, you may be right. Our election system here in Michigan is broken. We're going to do a lot of work between now and November to help get that thing at least back in some semblance of order. First of all, think about it. He just came out a few minutes ago and said that he won the race, so he's declaring victory. This is really about the heart and soul of our country. I have never seen someone so radical, so extreme, get nominated by a political party. And the DSA candidates in the state in two different congressional races look like they're pulling it off as well. The Democrat Party is lost to this hardcore socialist attitude. And I fought terrorism my whole life. I was an FBI special agent, U.S. Army officer, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. I find it shocking that I'm going to go up against a guy who believes America deserved 9/11. That's why this race is so important, Lawrence.
Now, in case you forgot, there was a terrorist attack that took place in Michigan, in Temple, Israel. This is what El-Sayed said about this.
When it comes to Temple Israel, I was profoundly shaken. Many of my friends growing up worshiped at Temple Israel. Nothing justifies the heinous attack that we saw on Temple Israel. I stand in solidarity with my Jewish sisters and brothers for an America where that kind of thing never happens again. I also think it's just critical for us to understand that hurt people do hurt people. And the circumstances happening 6,000 miles away can affect the lives that we live here. And if we stand against violence, we got to stand against violence, all violence.
Yes, sir, it does.
Why is that?
Well, to begin with, I look at the connections that his father-in-law, Chakaku Tayyib, has to Brotherhood-linked groups. This includes being the president at one time of CARE Michigan, also his presence on the Islamic Society of North America Founders Committee, which is only for those most exclusively devoted to ISNA and provide a significant amount of funding. There are other known Brotherhood members on that committee. I would also look at El-Sayed's ties to a group called Engage, which purports to be a Muslim sort of get out the vote or candidate recruitment organization, but it has close ties to CARE. It was created by a former CARE member who at one time was on a terror watch list and was also a consultant to convicted terrorist Sami al-Arian.
Do you believe the Islamic Society of North America, or ISNA, is an ongoing part of the Muslim Brotherhood network in the United States?
Yes, sir, I do. There were some HLF documents that reflected hesitation by the Brotherhood that they thought perhaps they were losing control.
If this individual has links to the Muslim Brotherhood, I don't know if you know the goal of the Muslim Brotherhood, but it's to globalize Islam all over the world and to bring as many people as possible to Islam. Very, very problematic if that's the case, if it's actually proven to be right. Now, here's what Trump said about Al-Sayed.
He's a communist. And the polls were wrong again last night when they thought it would be a landslide victory for a hater of Jews and a hater of Israel. This guy hates Jews. Somebody said, oh, that's a little strong. No, he hates Jews and he hates Israel. Abdul El-Sayed. Can you believe this? This could only happen to me. Abdul El-Sayed, lovely gentleman. He's a man of hate. And now he's going around saying, no, I love everybody. He doesn't love everybody. Put him in office. You're going to find out what he loves.
And what I have not heard is the Republicans on this panel decisively and swiftly call out this kind of Islamophobia, this kind of racism in the context, right, that they are running to represent a state that has the highest per capita number of Muslim Americans in the country. Now, you might not hate Muslims, but I'll tell you, Muslims definitely hate you.
Back down. We don't back down. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high. We take them to the mud and choke them out.
Do you believe Israel has a right to exist?
So, Casey, AIPAC's become a big issue in this election because AIPAC's already spent $30 million in this election. They're by far the biggest spender in the race. Now, the question about a right to exist, it's interesting because nobody's ever asked me whether or not I believe Palestine has a right to exist. Every single president who served has said that they believe in a two-state solution. Israel exists. The question is whether or not we want a politics where our money is sent over to Israel to do genocide and apartheid instead of investing in our own kids.
You say it exists, but does it have a right to?
No, I didn't say that. I just said the question of Israel's existence is not a question. I'm not going to play this gotcha game about whether or not it has a right to exist. The question ultimately is about whether or not we want a politics that dignifies.
You're not going to play the gotcha game, but you're not going to say you think Israel has a right to exist.
Well, my question, Casey, I think the question we all ought to ask is, does everybody have equal rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination? That's Jewish, Israelis, and Palestinians. And to me, the folks who should answer what the ultimate peace there looks like should be Jewish, Israelis, and Palestinians. I want my tax dollars spent here in Michigan to provide schools in Michigan, to build healthcare in Michigan, to invest in Michigan, rather than to be sent abroad to kill Palestinian people, do genocides and apartheid. The question about whether or not Israel has a right to exist is actually quite secondary to whether or not they have a right to our tax dollars. And people don't ask that question in good faith. So if you want to ask me about Palestinian right to exist, if you want to ask me about what I want to do for kids in Michigan, I'm happy to answer that question. But the AIPAC and Israel have become secondary questions that too many people have to talk about because our tax dollars keep getting spent over there rather than being spent over here.
Some people might hear that and say, well, does he support, funding defensive systems like the Iron Dome in Israel? Do you?
I don't believe that there's really a difference between offensive or defensive weapons. And I also don't believe it's my responsibility to buy defensive weapons for a foreign government when our kids are defenseless against schools that have been underfunded for a very, very long time. My responsibility as the next senator from Michigan is children in Michigan, rather than thinking about what's in the interest of a foreign government.
Okay, so that's a yes.
This is where we're headed anyway. Israel needs to be fully self-sufficient. This is inevitable that it's going to go in this direction. If Americans don't want to show any sort of support for Israel, which, by the way, I was never a fan of this foreign aid thing. I was never a fan of it because it allows America to have a hand in what Israel does. It was always strategic. So I want this to stop ASAP because the more Israel relies on the United States, the worse off we are. If Israel was already fully self-reliant militarily, none of this would matter. He wouldn't be able to use this whole talking point because this is a major way he got elected in the first place.
Yes, that you are against funding to things like the Iron Dome.
I am against it in large part because I just don't understand why anybody thinks it's the right thing to do to send our tax dollars abroad to fund foreign militaries when our own kids barely get to go to schools that are functional.
We've been asked in the past, why are our protests on the International Day of Quds Why are they so anti-America? Why don't we just focus more on Israel and not talk so much about America? Gaza has shown the entire world why these protests are so anti-America. Because it's the United States government that provides the funds for all of the atrocities that we just heard about. And this is why Imam Khomeini, who declared the International Day of Quds, this is why he would say to pour all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America. Malcolm X said, and I quote, "We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth. It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth." And so when these fools ask us if Israel has the right to exist, the chant "Death to Israel" has become the most logical chant shouted across the world today.
Imam Khomeini recognized that Israel is an evil settler colonialist project. He realized it is a cancer, and he established this day. Israel, before this, brothers and sisters, was a sacred cow. Nobody could criticize Israel. Everybody was terrified of being anti-Semitic. Everybody was afraid of them. But now, the people of conscience very openly will criticize Israel. They recognize Israel for what it is. Israel is ISIS. They are Nazis. They are fascists. They are racist. The people of the world now know this.
Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
I know Dearborn's gotten a lot of national attention because it's actually the first Muslim majority city in the country. Is it important to you guys that Abdul is Muslim, or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't really matter, because by the end of the day, he's not going to serve Dearborn alone. He's going to serve the whole state.
Right.
So we were looking at somebody who
he's going to serve the whole ummah.
Exactly what he's going to do. He's a doctor. He's served like Wayne County. He served the city of Detroit. It's not about Dearborn. It's about Michigan State.
Yeah. And before you go, is there anything specific that you'd like to see him do once he becomes senator? Because it's likely that he wins. What?
Delivering what he promised.
And what is he promised? For those that don't know what he's promised.
So he promised to fight for the people again, not to take corporate money, and to be, the voice of Michigan and Michiganders in D.C.
Same for you?
Yeah, I mean, he's all for, better medical, better schools, and better things in our state rather than, taking our tax dollars and giving it to a foreign country on wars. Spend on wars.
And which foreign country?
We're talking about Palestine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Abdul El-Sayed guy has just been talking all sorts of nonsense for the last couple of years. He has Hasan Piker right there on his hip. Hasan Piker has said horrible things about the United States. He is a known commie. He has no interest in a capitalist free society. All the while, he's rich and enjoying his life. This is the unfortunate state we're in right now in the Western world. As Assad puts it, suicidal empathy is the recipe to self-destruct as a country. So here we are, folks. Leave your comments. Make sure to subscribe, like, share. Follow me at Rafi the Realtor on Instagram for all of your real estate needs in Miami and the greater South Florida area. And you can support the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the pinned comment or description. Until next time, peace.